Right, I'm going to begin, Luke, by just saying, I mean, John is a great entry point into this world, isn't he? Because he's not really accustomed to it. I mean, he's a kind of illustrator, so we really adopt his perspective into this kind of dark, dangerous world. He's not a law enforcer or a doctor or anything like that. Was that part of the appeal for this character, and how important do you think that is for the viewer to have that?
I think it's massively important. If you go back to the book itself, he narrates the story, and in the show we brought him to life, and we gave him a grandmother, and we gave him this problem with alcohol, and the fact he hasn't found his purpose in life. He's heartbroken. He's been jilted by his fiancée. He's got a lot of baggage, but he's very human. He's very relatable, and he's drawn into this dark, sinister world of murder unwillingly. But he's a friend of Laszlo Kreisler, the alienist, and so he's dragged in, and I think through his eyes, he is the audience. I think the audience relates to him probably a little more than the rest of the characters, because he doesn't want to be there as much as the audience sometimes will not want to be watching those moments, because it's quite a gruesome story, but there's something quite, I don't know, quite sensitive about more, and I like that about him. You know, he's a flawed character in many ways, but also very human and very, you can understand him a little more, I'd say.
And I mean, the sets and the whole look of it is incredible. It must be so fun for actors when you get to inhabit a world like this, because I guess it taps into that kind of quite inherent child in all of us. Because acting effectively at its core is the world of make-believe, it's storytelling.
Well, completely. I mean, I just spend most of my day between takes walking around the sets, because they weren't just shop fronts. They were actually the actual shops, which had been completely dressed with whatever it was that they were selling. There was like an ice cream store, there was a candy store, there was a blacksmith's, a Jewish hat maker, butchers, a saloon, and the work that had gone into these places. You know, you feel like you just out of your TARDIS, and there you are in 1896 New York City, and it was extraordinary. And I've loved detailed work when it comes to sets, and I've worked on some amazing ones in the years, and this one was just mesmerizing to walk around and see the amount of detail, from the fruit to the bagels or to the Chinese food of Chinatown. Every day was just a joy.
And I was fascinated by by alienists, and also just the word alienist is bizarre. I mean, the way people with mental health issues were kind of demonized in society.
Yeah, they were alienated from society, yeah. And so people that studied them were called alienists, yeah.
Because I just wonder, do you think, I mean, obviously this is what's set, I guess, just over sort of 100 years ago. So, I mean, what do you think in 100 years' time we would look back on ourselves now and think, what were we thinking?
Oh, I mean, where do you begin? I mean, seriously, where do you begin? Don't start me. Yes. It'll be interesting, but I'm sure it'll be as extreme as it is for us to look back to 1896 and see no child labor laws, 15 people living in one room in a tenement block, the extreme poverty and the extreme wealth which we have today, and I'm sure we'll have in 100 years' time. That won't change, and sadly, but it'll be interesting. I wonder what it'll be.
And I mean, this is obviously just another incredible TV series to come out from Netflix. I think there's a whole TV series festival starting soon in Cannes, I think called Cannes Series. And now the team behind Empire magazine are making a new TV magazine. It just feels like we're really going through this incredible time. It must be amazing for actors like yourself. It feels like so many doors are open at the moment, because when I was growing up, it felt like there were TV actors and film actors, but now, I mean, there's just incredible projects wherever you turn.
Yeah, and you know, you just look at the last 10 years of really sort of like landmark tentpole television series, from Mad Men to Breaking Bad to Handmaid's Tale, just to mention 3 that I've loved. I think when you get 10 hours worth of script, you can develop an incredible story. You can adapt a book and give it what it's worth. Allow The Alienist to live and breathe over 10 hours, which is what it deserved. And you know, the scripts that I read, quite often the television scripts are sometimes better. So it's just the way it is, and I'm quite glad that we now have a festival for TV series. Maybe I'll get to go to Cannes.
Fine. Yeah, I'm hoping they might invite me. And just finally, but back to cinema. I mean, you are working on Anna with Luc Besson. I mean, that's a really exciting one. What can you tell us about that? Your character, is it all still quite mysterious?
Luc is a man of mystery, and he controls what goes out on social media. and he likes to keep people guessing. It's called Anna, and I play a Russian KGB. I play Anna. So there's Helen Mirren, myself, Cillian Murphy, and this wonderful new actress, Sasha Luss, who plays the titular role. And it's a brilliant story. For me, all I can describe it as, and I think Luke has described it the same, but it's if Leon and Nikita had a baby, it would be Anna. And if you've not seen Leon or Nikita, then go see them, and you'll get a good feeling of what this film will be like. I feel like Luke has gone back to some of the best work I think he's ever done, and the stuff that, first of all, brought him to my attention when I was young. And he's a storyteller, and he's very hands-on, and it was a joy to work on it. But I have to be very careful what I say about it right now.
Well, you've sold it anyway. Thank you so much for your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,